First, let's go ahead and do all the challenges in the Incredibles playset, which are on these pads.
So, are you up for a challenge?
With the Collect Crazy challenge, this is one that we had to do for a mission from the sensei, or at least to do
Awesome.
the easy difficulty. So each challenge has 3 different difficulties that you unlock by clearing easier difficulty. So if you complete easy, you'll unlock medium difficulty, and if you complete medium difficulty,
Challenge and
you'll unlock hard
collect this many.
difficulty. And each difficulty is represented by a different color, with easy being represented by yellow, or medium being represented by orange, and hard being represented by red. Now, each difficulty will pretty much change either the amount, or at least for these collector challenges, where you have to collect a certain amount of orbs, and a time under time limit, it'll change either the time limit or the amount of orbs that you collect.
Fantastic.
Which in this case, we have to collect 70 of them. I think the time limit is the same for all of them.
Great.
It is. But the amount of orbs that you collect is different for each one. Now, what's interesting is that each playset actually has its own unique challenge music that will play. Although, like, all of the challenges in a playset will have the same music play, but it's different in each playset. In the Incredibles playset, it is, I believe, I forget the exact name of the song, but it is from the music label. Oh, by the way, we leveled up. So yeah, each time you complete a challenge, you'll be rewarded with coins and sparks. So these are a pretty helpful way of leveling up your characters.
Great.
So here we have hard difficulty.
Here we go.
So yeah, the song I know is from the music label The Funky Junkies, from the album Cranked Kids, which all of the names of the songs on the album have kind of junk food themes.
Brilliant.
So there's such songs on there like Big Chew, Go Marshmallow, Gut Busters, all those songs.
Fantastic.
I believe this, along with the Toy Story and Monsters University playset, all have songs from that album as their challenge music. Along with this one, of course.
Looking great. Awesome.
So we have to collect only 6 more orbs than the previous one. I didn't check if we have less time. I'm guessing we do. So I guess this one is just to collect all of the orbs that we see. Or collectibles, as the game calls them.
Fantastic.
Although at other times they are called orbs. It's very confusing. So only 4 more left. Uh-oh. We're running out of time.
Great. One more.
Don't worry, we got them.
You're geeking out about
With only, I think, 3 seconds left.
great finish.
4 seconds left. And we leveled up again. And so yeah, once you've cleared all 3 of the difficulties of a challenge, the pad will just turn into a gray color, implicating that you have completed everything for the challenge. So we may as well go ahead and find some more. Now, I did previously state that each of the characters have their own signature challenge. We may as well go ahead and find Syndromes. There's Violet's right there. There's a hoverboard challenge on the left. Whoops. So we're going to have to go ahead and play as all of the characters in this playset again. And here's Syndromes.
Ready to play?
Syndrome's Battle Bonanza, which is a combat challenge. Defeat the enemies before time runs out.
Go. Here's your objective.
Alright.
Watch the clock.
5 enemies in 90 seconds. Can we do it?
Wait till the supers see everything I've invented. They'll have to let me in then.
A 0-point energy will probably come into use here. Yeah, especially there. Boom.
You win.
All right.
Shall we level it up a bit? Here we go. Destroy the enemies. Watch the clock.
These town people sure can get annoying. Alright. So I may as well talk about this now. That, in this game, Syndrome is voiced by Jason Lee, the same person that voiced him in the movie. Of course, Jason Lee is a pretty well-known actor. You know, of course, being the lead in the TV show My Name is Earl. I believe he played Dave in all of the live-action Alvin and the Chipmunks movies. Pretty sad that that was the first time I ever knew who Jason Lee was, even before knowing that he voiced Syndrome in The Incredibles. I believe, funnily enough, he was also a pretty renowned skateboarder in the late 80s and early 90s. So ain't that something? The voice of Syndrome used to be a skater. He would even be a, Jason Lee would even be a playable character in the skateboarding video game Tony Hawk's Project 8.
You did it.
And I think Jason Lee would even do motion capture for himself for that game.
Ready
For his
test?
tricks and stuff.
Fantastic.
Alright, time for hard difficulty.
Here's the goal. Here's the time limit.
I believe Jason would also be do a couple of other voice acting roles, including being the voice of the character Charlie in the Cartoon Network show We Bare Bears, which is kind of one of his more recent roles. And I believe he also voiced the title character in the live-action Underdog movie. Remember that? I remember it. Although I never watched it, but I definitely remember seeing a bunch of promotional material for it. I think it was from Disney, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if the Disney Channel would air a bunch of promos for the film, and therefore that's probably how I knew about it. But yeah, Jason Lee voiced Underdog in that. So that's pretty cool. What's funny is that in Disney Infinity 3.0 edition, Jason Lee would actually come back to record more lines as Syndrome, as in one of its game modes, Toy Box Takeover, Syndrome is the main villain. So yeah, they got Jason Lee back to voice Syndrome some more. You can definitely tell that he's having a lot of fun. That he had a lot of fun voicing Syndrome in these games. It's pretty cool. Let's see, we may as well find some more challenges. Although, whoops. Alright, what are the gold stars? Complete all of the challenges. Okay, we're gonna have to do all of them. Great. Next up is over here.
So, are you up for a challenge?
Combat Clash. Defeat the enemies before time runs out.
Challenge initiated.
Alright.
Here's your objective.
Toys available. We already bought all the toys in the toy store game. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright. Okay, so this challenge is to do with defeating these giant spawners that spawn out onto droids. Gotcha. These ones take quite a few hits. So yeah, you may notice that Syndrome uses his rocket boots for quite a few moves as he'll kind of hover into the air. Unfortunately, you cannot use the rocket boots to fly like he could in the movie, and even in this playset, the villain Syndrome that you fight will also He uses rocket boost to fly. But unfortunately, you cannot fly as playable Syndrome, which is a shame. Although that would be kind of overpowered, to be fair.
Here we go. Destroy the enemies. Here's the time limit.
Even when they added the ability to fly in Disney Infinity 2.0 edition, you still weren't able to fly as Syndrome. However, you could super jump, which was another ability added in Disney Infinity 2.0, to where if you hold the jump button as certain characters, you could jump a little higher than you could by double jumping. And Syndrome is one of the characters that has that ability to super jump. Okay, this time we have to defeat 4 of these spawners. Sorry, man, I'm gonna use your ice cream truck to take this giant thing down. Although, thankfully, it looked like the woman survived, so that's good. There we go. Look at that, we have a minute and a half left. We have plenty of time. So another thing about these challenges is that, of course, these can be played in multiplayer, to where when playing in multiplayer, you kind of compete for the highest score. As I think it'll tally each player's scores individually. Okay, that's interesting that I went from level 2 to level 4. Weird.
You're looking for a challenge, huh?
I sure am.
Fantastic.
Alright,
Here we go.
now this will probably have us
Here's the goal.
defeat 6. Yep, 6 spawners, my bad, in 2.5 minutes. Which you probably just mash the attack button. That works. And the enemies will be defeated right alongside the spawner. So that's nice. There we go. Now, unfortunately, these giant enemy spawners cannot be spawned in the toy box mode. Although later Disney Infinity games would allow different other kinds of enemy spawners to be placed in the toy box mode. So, it kind of is another Disney Infinity games, although just not in an incredible style. Alright. Dang it. Yeah, these ranged Omnidroids can get quite annoying, I will admit. Also, we have a minute left. That might be enough time. And it is over up there. Alright. Okay, this is gonna get quite annoying. With all these rockets coming at us. Especially the... Ugh! Yeah, you can't recover in midair, which is extremely annoying. That would not be added until later Disney Infinity games. Only 20 seconds remaining. Can we do it? Maybe not with all these freaking rockets coming at us. Dear God. And we failed.
Good try.
Dagnabbit.
Oh, I'll prove it. You don't need.
Alright, may as well try it again.
Great. Challenge initiated. Here's your objective. The time to beat.
Alright, this time we should probably take care of the ranged Omnidroids because they're definitely the ones that are the most annoying. I'm sorry, sir. It's for the greater good. I use your card to defeat these Omnidroid spawners. There we go. Apparently ground pounds are also very effective. Yeah, look at this. Well, maybe. Well, I thought they were effective. Whatever. It's done for. We're gonna use these guys. Yeah, that's the thing. Taking care of the ranged Omnidroids means that I'll have to go back, or... Excuse me, I'll have to go back all the way up to that rooftop and take care of them there. I don't have time for that. I only have a minute left to take care of these last two. Although, thankfully, the spawner blocks the Omnidroid's rockets, so that's nice at least. I'll try going behind here and see what happens. Well, that's good at least. Yeah, this is probably a good location. Hey, look at that. They might actually be helping me out here with their rockets. Maybe. Me neither, Syndrome. At least we're being protected. There we go. We got it this time.
Great finish.
Alright, that takes care of that challenge. What's next? Well, there was that hoverboard challenge we saw earlier. Let's go ahead and try that.
Ready to play? Ready to play?
Hovering heroics.
Fantastic.
Pass through all the challenge gates before time runs out. So it's kind of a racing challenge.
Pass through every checkpoint or your win won't count.
Alright. 55 seconds. Can we do it? Whoops. I believe the difference for each difficulty of the challenge is that you'll be given less and less time each time.
Awesome.
So it's best if you try to memorize the path of these gates as well as possible. I mean, obviously, but still, I may as well go ahead and say that. And also, yeah, they only go around the small island. You don't have to travel to other islands for some of these gates.
Brilliant. That's what I'm talking about.
Although you will have to go through the docks.
Almost done.
And also, yeah, it's not even full lap. It's just going from point A to point B. So, yeah.
You win.
Only 5 seconds left.
Ready to take it to the next level?
Alright.
Here we go.
This time,
Have to pass through all the checkpoints in order.
we have 50 seconds, so 5 seconds less than last time. At least now, we'll know the course a little better. So it might not take me as much time as before.
That's what I'm talking about. Fantastic.
Alright, I'm wondering if I should go ahead and start just talking about random stuff. And by that I mean like more personal stories that have to do with this game, because I have a lot.
Brilliant.
I actually bought Syndrome individually. In fact, I bought pretty much almost all of the playset characters individually that might have been sold in other kinds of packs, like the Sidekick pack and the Villain pack. I did not buy those. I just bought the figures individually, which is weird because buying the packs probably would have saved money, but whatever.
Fantastic. Challenge initiated.
So yeah, I distinctly remember buying Syndrome at, I believe it was Toys R Us. And I still distinctly remember all that happened that day, which is weird that there's a lot of things I don't remember, yet I remember the day I got Syndrome for Disney Infinity. Like I said, okay, one thing that does help is that I actually wrote like a journal entry about it. So, at this time at school, one of my classes had this thing to where we would like write a little journal entry. I forget if it was every week or every day, but each one would have a different prompt. And oh my god, we had less than a second left. And there we go. We're done with Hovering Heroics. Anyways, each day, or just I guess various days, we would have different prompts. A lot of them would just be like, oh, what did you do over the weekend? Or what did you do over the holiday break? And I think the entry I'm talking about specifically, I think I still have it. I think I still have it somewhere, actually. I think I still have the journal I wrote all this down in somewhere. But, yeah, it was one of just, oh, what did you do over the weekend? And I wrote about my trip to... Okay, that was weird. Anyways, I wrote about the trip to Toys R Us and getting... Excuse me. Getting Syndrome for Disney Infinity. Along with some other stuff. Like, I believe I got some Lego minifigure blind bags. I believe it was Series 11. We may as well use the sports car for this racing challenge.
Ready for this?
Romp around town.
Fantastic.
Pass through all the challenge gates before time runs out.
Here we go.
Alright.
Pass through every checkpoint or your win won't count.
Okay, so anyways.
Great.
Yeah, it was Lego Minifigure Series 11, which I think had kind of a loose holiday theming to it, because I think there was a gingerbread man
Fantastic.
minifigure alongside some other figures. Like, I remember getting a barbarian figure.
Fantastic.
I have like 3 of those now, because I'm pretty sure it was like the most common figure of the series. And I think it's the only figure I have from that series. I think there was also like a Yeti or something.
Fantastic.
But yeah. Series 11. Quite interesting. So yeah, this was...
Great.
Lego fans will already know that, yeah, this was late 2013 that this happened, so...
That's what I'm talking about.
Again, I might actually go back and look at it again just to refresh my memory on everything. Like, I don't know, between next recording session or just in this session, I might stop recording, look at that, and then come back. That's probably what I'll do, actually. Maybe even after this challenge.
Great.
By the way, a really helpful thing is to drift and get some boosts, which you could do by flicking the right control stick.
Almost done.
Yeah, we're probably definitely going to want to do that for the next difficulties. And we got an achievement! That was easy. Complete 5 challenges on easy difficulty. Well, there we go.
Awesome.
Anyways,
Here we go. You'll have to pass through all the checkpoints in
and it even saves our turbo meter. That's nice. So we could go ahead and use one right away.
Awesome.
So I guess that's a useful tip at home. Go ahead and fill up the turbo meter right before starting one of these vehicle challenges. It'll come in handy, trust me.
Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about.
But what else? This was... I do know this was back when I still had the Wii version of Disney Infinity. Have I talked about that?
Fantastic.
I think I have, about how before, like the first version I had of Disney Infinity was on the Wii, because at this time it was the only
Looking great.
system that the game was available for that I owned.
Fantastic.
I didn't own a 360 or a PS3 or a Wii U at this time. I think I did talk about it because I remember talking about like how I also had a 3DS, but I didn't really buy the 3DS version because it's a completely different game.
Great. One more.
And there we go. We might have crashed into a few cars and sent people flying, but no big deal. And there we go. That was rough. Complete 5 challenges on medium. I'm guessing you probably know what achievement's coming up after this, after we do this challenge on hard difficulty.
Test. Here we go.
And I forgot to fill up my turbo meter like I said earlier. Whatever. I could probably get by without doing that. Hopefully. We have 1 minute and 25 seconds. Thankfully you can't... Oh, whoops. You can pretty much drive forward while drifting, although it's a bit tricky to turn.
Brilliant.
But yeah, what's interesting is that before Christmas of 2013, which is when I got a Wii U, along with its version of Disney Infinity that I played constantly, I had already had all of the starter pack playset characters, so pretty much all the characters for the 3 playsets that come with the starter pack. Which, to be fair, there's not that many. I think there's only like 8. But still, and I even had some figures outside of that, so it really tells you how much I enjoyed this game. Alright, and there we go.
Just here to help.
Helping who?
Finish.
Whatever. We leveled up again. There we go. That was a challenge. Completed 5 challenges on hard, which is an 100 G achievement. One of the most valuable achievements in the game. Pretty interesting, but whatever. There's also collect 70 stars, which I can see that being worth 100. Go along with level up 3 characters to level 15. Again, because this is just for the starter pack, I can understand that being a very valuable one. And are there any other ones that are 100? Yes! Complete the story in 3 playsets. Okay, that's understandable. Complete 3 adventures to gold standard. Yeah, alright. I can accept that, I guess. And, yeah, that's it. Alright. What else is there around here? This one. Drive the Incredicar to participate in this challenge. Okay. So we gotta get another vehicle out. The Incredicar.
You ready for this?
Oh. That plasma ball right there is probably why we have to do it with the Incredicar. before we do it, I may as well go ahead and get that journal so I can refresh my memory on everything. Alright, and I'm back. Nope. So I did look through that journal I was talking about, just to kind of refresh my... Oh, that's nice. Apparently the android will continue to spray its flamethrower even when it's frozen with 0-point energy gauntlet. That's kind of cool, actually. Look out, everyone! Syndrome's got himself a flamethrower! Alright. Anyways. Let's go ahead and do the speed battle, which is a combat challenge. Use the credit card to defeat all the enemies before time runs out. Okay, that's why we need the credit cards, because it's the only ground vehicle in this place that has an actual weapon. Because the sports car doesn't. Alright. It takes a while for the car to reload. Because after you shoot a plasma ball, it takes a while to recharge. So that you can shoot another one. As long as you know what you're doing, this one's not too bad. Of course, you don't have to use the plasma balls. You could just run into the Omnijoids, which is arguably more effective. Alright, there we go. Not sure what's going on with the camera there.
Ready to play? Here we go.
Alright, I may as well talk about the
Here's the goal.
journal entry and that. It reminded me of a couple things, and one is that a lot of the time it would my teacher would ask like, oh, what did you do over this amount of days? A lot of what I wrote would just be stuff like, oh, on this day, when I went home, I played Disney Infinity. On this day, I played Disney Infinity. A lot, like, I kind of want to go through it and just see how many times I say Disney Infinity across those journal entries. It's gotta be, like, up there at, like, 50 or something at least. There wasn't too many of them that I wrote. And now that I think about it, I think I said earlier I wasn't sure whether we did them daily or weekly. Now that I think about it, I definitely think we did them weekly because of just how many there were. There we go, just barely. And also, yeah, we have a lot of coins. 11,000. Yeah, that's the thing about these challenges. They give you a ton of coins, and it's kind of weird to do them last because, like,
Here we go.
you know, you've already spent your coins on all the stuff you need.
Watch the clock.
After you've gotten everything in the toy store, there's not really much use for these playset specific economies. Yeah, this is way better than using the plasma ball. Look at this. Sorry about that. And another thing is that it reminded me of how not only was I, of course, obsessed with Disney Infinity during this era, it was still in the era where I was really obsessed with Minecraft as well. I don't know if I've really discussed this before, but yeah, when Minecraft came out, around, what, 2010 or 2011, I was, my sister and I were really into it. We got it on our computer, even though it didn't really run it well, at all. But we still played it regardless. Ah, shoot. Wasn't really paying attention. Alright, enemies defeated 30. There were 34 enemies, right? So there weren't that many left.
Okay, next time. Ready to bring it on? Challenge initiated. Destroy the enemies. The time
And I think I would talk about Minecraft a lot in those entries, of course, as well. Because, like, there were a lot of Minecraft YouTubers that I would watch. And I would get a bunch of Minecraft merchandise, of course. A bunch of, like, toys, t-shirts, all that stuff. I mean, of course, as any kid would in the early 2010s. I mean, isn't it one of the best-selling video games of all time? It would only make sense. Alright, I think using a balance of... Well, I say that. Both a balance of the range at... Shoot. That ain't gonna help. Using a balance of both the range attack... Okay, that actually proved to be well. Of the range attack and ramming into enemies, I think is probably your best bet. Ow! Right there.
Yikes.
Indeed. Look at that. Apparently, me jumping, me falling into the water counted as a death, or a defeat. That's interesting. I didn't lose too much time from it, so, I don't know. And I did not... Dagnabbit! How the heck do you do this? Yeah, game! Syndrome wasn't finished dealing with these Omnidroids that he created.
You're looking for a challenge, huh? Here's your objective. Watch the clock.
Can't even tell if the narrator's mocking me at this point. Okay. Okay, apparently a box was pushing this car from moving. Interesting. There we go. That's probably the best bet right there. Is using the plasma ball for if you miss any from ramming into all of them. Yeah, look at that. Uh-oh. Bam! Just like that.
Great finish.
And now we're done with that challenge, I believe. Yes. Alright.